welcome to development vlog number 4 for my game Project Elysian. I'm getting a college degree in game design, and this is the documentation of my new game, which is going to be an RPG. So, this first section, not going to be the most exciting thing. I have created a new character class, which was relatively simple, just because I've already made all the systems to make a new character. So, that hard work on the back end made this pretty simple, but he is a spellcaster type of character, or he, she, whatever it is. It's a little goblin. And there's like a little shuffle that they do, and then a firebolt. So, let's see, it's obviously I'm going to be doing some tweaking. That's probably going to be the next section, or the next update in this vlog. I'm going to go through and tweak all my enemies. So you can see, shuffles around, faces me, fires a firebolt. It's pretty good dodge right now. We're killing each other. You see, it does the dissolve effect. And again, so that was just, I can walk you through the process. Is create a new character blueprint off of my enemy base class. Get to the viewport here. Add in a skeletal mesh. Create a idle walk animation blueprint for him, which I have set right here. Create an attack montage. Proper attack notifications. Let me jump on over to all those. Sorry. Yeah, create this animation blueprint. Have the attack here with the proper notifies, adding motion warping in, changing the name just because I have it programmed to facing target, so it's always facing the player before it fires. Or if it's not facing it, it will look for the player and then fire. Change rotation type 2 facing, uncheck things like warp translation, because then he just teleports around. And there's all that. And then I also, new thing is adding in like a sound effect notify. So right at this attack montage event, which I have set properly to the montage.attack.weapon, he will also fire, or not fire, but also play the firebolt sound just to make it a little bit better. Add those small details in. And here's idle walk animation, pretty simple. Idle 0, walk at 75, have it down to 75 just because he's a slower character. And then create a new ability class for him. Like so, the player character, they have a firebolt, but the enemy did not. So I created a enemy firebolt gameplay ability off of the range attack. Only really difference is the damage type is fire. The range attack is physical, because I was making that for the slingshot goblin, and then adding a new projectile class, or not a new, the old projectile class I made for aura play character, which is firebolts, and then just having the proper damage, going to the data tables, adding in, and also, so the shaman is an elementalist, so there's a warrior range elementalist, going to my character class attributes, adding in this gameplay ability on the elementalist, so now the game knows to read, or the game knows that as soon as the shaman spawns in, they have the firebolt ability, which I could just quickly show you. So right here, just adding in elementalist, starter ability, enemy firebolt, and obviously the warrior's melee attack, range attack, all the rest. Then just do a few things like tweaking. I did some work on the blackboard AI system, so now the enemies won't fire at you once they kill you, because that was happening, and they would also fire at you when they were dead. So as soon as before I fix that, when I killed this guy, he would keep on firing his firebolts at me even though he's dead. But I fixed that, just added in a booleans and is dead, and set it in C++. Did some tweaking on its rotation, just movement speed, and yeah. So that was just kind of what I did quickly today. But the next section, like I said previously at the start here, I'm just repeating myself because that's what I do. I'm going to go through and just do a lot of little tweaks to the enemies, kind of refine some stuff. I did a little bit of refining too, just like tweaking like their feet. So like he's still floating just a little bit, but I think it's good enough, and I'll just have to see when I actually start making my game, like what that terrain's like and how they react to it. Then I'll go do further adjustments. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else on this guy that I want to talk about, I guess I didn't talk about making the weapon, but that's pretty simple. Just I went into his skeletal mesh, added in the weapon hand socket because that's what I programmed C++, so it knows to spawn the weapon right there. And then I just had to create a spot for the projectile to spawn in, which is kind of up here in the skull. That's where the firebolt comes in. Just added in those I guess skeletal bones into the meshes. But yeah, so this is kind of the start to the 4th devlog, and I'll see you in the next update. Okay, so things have gotten a little crazy, or not crazy. I just probably should have made an update sooner to this video because I've just been making a ton of changes and additions to everything. So I'm going to do my best to stay focused on everything I've been doing and like be concise and not ramble too much. But there's a lot. First off, I'm just going to start talking about the sounds. So on pretty much all of my enemies, I went through and I started adding in sounds and like little effects just to make the combat feel better, you know. So if I go here, again, so we'll just do like the spear goblin. First I'll just show you some things that they do now. So you can see, so when I get hit, there's like blood splatters. You can hear the kind of thrusting sounds. And so there's the thrust sound and the impact sound, so that I can get him to miss me. Here. Yeah, see, he's hitting me, and there's an ad playing. Wow, this is chaotic. Hold on. Oops. No, nothing's happening. There's nothing happening. Anyways, trying to get him to miss me here. Okay, well. He's not missing me, he's a little too accurate, but so if he misses me, there's a different sound, but then also added in sound, so when he gets hit, there's a little scream, and then there's also a death sound. See there? So there's adding in a bunch of those, and that goes through like all of the enemies, so there's things for all of them now. Same thing. Like this guy, he now has a Niagara effect, with like the swoosh. So you can kind of see there on the claws, the effect that plays. I had to go into C++ and add in a new system for that alongside the blood. But you can see also like this ghoul enemy, he like makes a little like scream when he, or not a scream, like a growl when he hits. And then there's also the death sounds and whatnot for him. So he screams. Slingshot guys, they now have like a rock impact effect. So you can see right there. Obviously, there's sounds now when they hit me with the rocks. All enemies have footsteps now. You can see right there. Kind of the rock shatters a bit. And then he, of course, he has the same sounds as the spear goblin. And I died. But there's that. Shaman, I've been doing the same thing, of course, just adding in the effects, footsteps. He's a little more accurate now with the shots. They track you better. Kind of changed how the projectiles spawn because there's also an issue with like collision. That's one thing now too. Is like firebolts will now like hit the floors and make or firebolts and rocks now like they can all like conflict with the collision on the floors because beforehand they were just kind of flying through it. So that kind of changed some reworking of just where I was spawning the projectiles from, because then it was like, probably, I can't explain it, I'll just ramble too much, but it's just, they were not, the projectile would spawn and then hit instantly. It was a weird little quirk. We fixed it, but now you can see like the rock, when it misses, it still touches the ground and explodes on the ground. That wasn't happening before. Again, sorry, rambly. We've also got a demon character and a demon warrior. Let me delete some of these guys just to clear up some space. So, two different demons. One just throws rocks. I don't know if I'm going to have him keep on throwing rocks. I feel like he should probably do like a spell of some sort instead of rocks. All I have right now is the firebolt spell, so I might give him that, or change it to something else in the future. I just don't want him to be doing the exact same thing as the slingshot guy and the shaman guy, but just This is what I have working right now, so that's what he's using. But then this demon, oh, hold on, let me um, delete him, and I'll just show you the sounds that they make when they get hit. Delete him as well. But this demon is more of a warrior character, so he does a little spin tail attack. So he makes a little squeak when he hits me. It's there, but then obviously they have their sound set up. Like so. So that's like the changes in action, I guess. And now I'm going to try to go, or not try, I'm going to go through and show you kind of how I've been doing that. So just to try to keep this concise, I'm not going to go through and show you how I did the sounds on every single enemy class, because it's a lot of the same thing, just different effects, different sounds, and all the rest. But just to keep things simple here on the Goblin Spear here, so you can see, just kind of added in like just a new sound notify or notify track of its sounds. This one for the Scotland's a swish sound, like right when I wanted to make the swoosh. So it just calls it on the animation. And then with the sounds, I'm using like an FNX or SFX like kind of template. So this is how all my sounds are working. I have one for multi and single. This is the multi. So I take the sounds I want to play here, put it in this array in the corner. So they're like these like all these different swoosh sounds, and then I have like pitch multipliers, volume multipliers that I'll play just to add some variety in, so it's not the exact same sound repeating over and over. And that goes for like all the animations, all the sounds I make. They're all in these SFX templates. Just like it also sounds better than just the bass sound. And so like hit react right here, they just right when they get hit, they play that sound. Nothing crazy. Again, that sound is the same thing within like the SFX templates. You see the templates right here, and then just on like the enemies, go to the goblin again. Hurt, I have a hurt SFX. And I like that. It's boring stuff. Same thing for every enemy, every sound. Just this is how I'm doing the sounds in the game. One thing I will show you is like adding in like the Niagara effects on the character. So for that, I'll have to go to like the ghoul. The ghoul's animations here. So and also obviously the ghoul has the left and right attack. Same thing on each one. But you can see right here, added in a system for combat trails, or not combat trails, Niagara effects, and this one is just a combat trail. So where I started is where I want the effect to play, and then where it ends is I want to stop. So you can't really see here in the animation very well, but you can kind of, but yeah. So I just have it spawning when I do the trail. I have a trail socket now on the mesh, so let's see here. So right here, I could have added it just to like I could have just added it here to like the left-hand socket, but it was weird because the left-hand socket there, that's like how it's doing damage. When the left-hand socket hits you, you do damage. But it was like when I added the Niagara effect to that socket, it was just like off. It didn't look right. So I figured if I actually I'm playing the trail socket, like the Niagara effect, from like more the middle of the arm. So I just added a new socket for that. That goes for all the enemies. Like any enemy that uses Niagara effect, just link it to a socket where I want to play from, set the how long in the animation I want to play for, and then we're pretty much good to go. Let's see here. So yeah, just a lot of like these like sound effects. Also on all these like classes. So I'll go open up the the daemon will work, I guess. So I have all these like variables I can set on combats. Now, let's switch combat here. You can see you have to set the attack montages. So like in the animation, so like this is the demon throw. I have to link up the tags, the tag tags. I also overhauled the tag system. Actually, going to see here. So you can see here. Let me pause that. So this is kind of when I'm telling the game to do damage. I have the event tag montage attack 1, and then if you go into the um, ranger here, back here, you set that attack. So like that is the AM demon throw, the attack montage demon throw. Set it as the same attack montage, and then I have like where I want the effect to come out of. So I have that set for the left hand, but it can also be right hand, tail, weapon. So like for the warrior version of the demon, I have the socket set to the tail because that's where the damage play happens. So there's that. So to set the socket names here. So like I said, left hand, it's coming from the left hand. I have to set it there. And then I can just leave these blank because they're not being used. But like if I wanted the rock to come out of the right hand, I would set it as the right hand socket, which doesn't exist yet. I could just make the right hand socket and add it in there. But then also on all my enemies and the base character class for my main character, I can set like the blood impacts. I don't have them bleeding yet. I don't have them like set up where I hit them, they bleed. That'll probably be something I do later. I only have it set up for our character right now because it has to do with like the damage abilities, which I can show you that in a second here. But then like set things like death sounds and the hit react montage. Just all these like little variables so I can easily make more characters, more enemy classes. But yeah, if you can see here in the melee attack, I kind of overhauled the gameplay queue system. So this is all new, and it was really frustrating overhauling all this because when I changed the gameplay tags, everything kind of broke. But you can see here, like I execute the gameplay queue with parameters, and this I just have a hard set for melee impact because it's the melee one. But also you see here I have the ability to get the blood effect now, all that. Go back here a little bit. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. Anyways, basically what this all does is just means this allows me to set all of these parameters. That's all you need to know, basically. Yes. So there's that. But I think I'm just gonna stop talking because I waited way too long to make a video, and I'm taking notes on everything I'm doing. It's just hard to elaborate on a video. I'm more taking notes just so I can do it more in the future. But like so, I don't know. I can show you here. This is off topic, but just like all these notes, so I know how to set this up because as I continue to flesh this project out, I'm sure how I did all this will kind of just leave my memory, and it's good to have these notes. Like maybe I decide halfway through development of my game, I want to be like, oh, I want some new enemy classes. Well, I'm taking notes on everything I'm doing here, and then initial stages and everything I'm doing in the course, just so I can really work easily when I'm doing everything completely independently and not following a course. And honestly, like the past week or so, it's been super, super nice because I really feel like I'm starting to grasp how all these enemy classes are working. Like again, it's the programming side. I'm still like not fully grasping, but I'm understanding the design side. Like I know how to use all the tools that I'm programming in. So even if I don't understand what I'm programming really, I'm just following the videos. I can be the designer. I can take all these tools in Unreal Engine and I understand how they work. I understand them, make new characters, do animation, sounds, damages, determine weapons, and just make like little tweaks to values and all that stuff. So that's like it's really settling down in my head on how to do all that, and it feels really good because I'm no longer as confused. But yeah, so I'm gonna get back to work because I could just sit here and show you all these animations and attack montages and animation montages that I've been doing, but I feel like that's probably not all exciting, but because it's a lot of just the same stuff, motion warping, sounds, mag effects, montage events for damage, linking up the event tags, just making sure all these pieces connect. It's boring stuff, repetitive stuff, but it's fun and it feels really good to be doing this stuff now. So I'm gonna get back to work, and hopefully I'll make an update video for this video sooner than later, so I'm not so everywhere and just whatever I'm doing right now. So I'm more concise and I can explain things better. So I now have the shaman character pretty much done. He can summon enemies and then also do a firebolt spell. So firstly, I had to create the new gameplay ability for the summoning. And we'll go over here in Rider, see it here, just making that summon ability in C++. And the actual gameplay ability itself and blueprints is so when you activate ability, you get spawn locations. I shuffle those in an array, so it's like different every single time. It's not just spawning the exact same spots. And then once it gets those, once it like pinpoints those locations that the enemies are going to spawn into, I have an emission, or not an emission, a emitter spawn. So like it's a little ring that will show like, okay, these are where the enemies are about to spawn in, so it plays that effect exactly where they're going to be. Obviously, the summoning montage, which is just kind of the same thing as what I've been showing, just making sure those sound keys are in and like the event tags and all that. Wait for that gameplay attack, since it's set as attack 1, as like the summoning is the first attack, so it waits for that gameplay attack. And then it gets those spawn locations, and this is basically just ensuring that firstly they are always going to be facing the right way, so they're not just like spawning in random like weird directions. And also the location, so they're spawning about like 70. I don't know what you call. I don't know how Unreal measures like the units, but it's 70 units above the ground, so they're not spawning within the ground. It spawns those actors. And then this is just kind of all making sure that like once it gets down to like one demon, the shaman will summon in more, just kind of constantly ensuring that there's always at least a group. Like there's not just what am I trying to say here? There's not just a group of enemies. Or no, there's always a group of enemies is what I'm trying to say. It's a loop that's just like forever is always to be okay. So once we get down to one, we summon more. We repeat this. It's just kind of an over and over and over again thing. And I guess I should probably show that in action. That would be a good thing. Also, just on the base enemy class before I show you, I also put a timeline in there just to make it like a cool spawn effect. So then they'll just like kind of appear out of nowhere. It actually kind of looks like something's happening, like some sort of summoning thing is happening. Let me go into my character class, since I'm enemy base, just a basic timeline right here, just affecting the size. So spawn on normal, goes up, dips down, shrinks a little bit, and it goes back to normal size. Or I guess they start at super small, and then they shrink, or they shrink just a little bit, and then go back to normal. So anyways, let's see how that actually works. So you can see right here, he sees us, he's summoning all the guys. These are the demon enemies, and there's two variations. So the rock throwing ones, and there's the ones that hit you. And then so when there are a group of demons, the shaman will revert to throwing fireballs. Actually, that looks like it's. I might mess around the pitch override because that looks like it's firing a little high. But so if I was to kill off all these demons, realizing that the sound. Oh, okay. Well, see, I'm not good at my game because I died. Let's see here. Try to actually not die. So we'll just quickly. I'm realizing that playing the sound every single time they get hit is a little much. It's kind of annoying. So now there's one guy left. And there we go. More get summoned. So just constantly ensuring there's always a group until you kill that summoner, just kind of prioritizing the player to take him out first. You don't want to deal with demons. So there's that. Also, so what I was talking about was the pitch override and the range attacks. That's not what I wanted to open. Um, and these abilities, range attack here. So I have a pitch override now. Just so like on the rocks here, if I get a slingshot guy, let's delete him. Actually, enemy firebolts. I need to should over. No, I 0. Okay. Hold on. Actually, does that fix it? Sorry, probably should not be testing this while I'm recording, but it's gonna happen. Actually, so on my slingshot rock, what is it? What would be there? Would it? What would be? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Hold on. So that's false. So it should. Hmm. We're just gonna roll with this because I just want to see something. Maybe it's just in my mind. Maybe they're not actually. Summoning you guys in the firebolt. Are you still like? Okay, no, that seems like it's. Yeah, okay, no, it's hitting me. I'm just being wrong. But also, so you see the on the pitch override. So the rocks, just to get them some more distance, that's why I added the pitch override in, because now I can throw them at an arc instead of just throwing directly at you, because those falling pretty short. And I could have increased the velocity, but I also think the arc makes it look a little bit better. And it makes it feel more natural. So that's just kind of so now with all my range attacks, I can decide if they're gonna arc it or not. There's that. And then I made just a few changes to like how like the damage is done, optimization, the Niagara effects like on the rock impacts were like destroying the frame rate, and I realized that there's a like I took notes on it because I assume there's gonna be an issue later on. Yeah. Under the particle state, just check to kill the particle system once the lifespan is over instead of it constantly. Oh, hey, there's my Grammarly subscription. Constantly playing even once you die or even once it's destroyed. There's just too many Niagara effects and it was hurting the game. Um, but yes, I think that's all for this little segment. I'm going to go back into just working. Probably going to have an update on the level system next. Because I think that's what I'm going to be doing next. Also just so like the summoning ability would have shown here. So I was just testing to see like if they can summon on like a slope like this, and it does work. So it doesn't really matter if it's on like a hill or whatever. It'll still find the correct summon locations and spawn them in the correct position. That's just what I was testing here. But yeah, okay. See you in literally seconds for you. So I got super sidetracked and did not do the thing I just said I was going to do in the last clip, as you can see. But before I talk about all this, first and foremost, I have been banging my head against the wall trying to fix how like my targeting system works. It's like the cursor trace data was the issue. First of all, just to kind of show you what I'm talking about, I have a clip from what it was doing. So you can see here, basically I'm clicking behind me, but the player character isn't turning. She only will fire one way if you're not locked on to an enemy or an actor. So it registers like actor. So if like I fired at like that pillar because that's an actor, it would fire at that and turn to that properly, or like of course like a regular enemy like you've seen. But like any sort of like static mesh that I'm firing at would not work. Like I just she would not turn toward it, and it was like really really annoying, and like it just would not work in the game. But I fixed it, and now, as you can see here, I can fire at everything. I'll show you how to do that. It was just a simple fix in my cursor trace system under my player controller. But I was troubleshooting for 2 days. Like I was making backups of the game, and I completely just like ruined everything multiple times, and I was in pure panic. But it's fine. We figured it out. It was a super simple, quick fix, and I'm just mad at myself for making it so much more complicated than it actually was, but I'm just so happy it working now. So yeah, like I said, basically everything you see here, she fires at. If I turn this way, she turns properly and fires at anything I want her to. There's an issue like if I click up here, like she doesn't like it's a little janky because like you don't look up, but I'm not too worried about that right now. So and then of course like the targeting system still works perfectly. Um, but how I did that here is just in C++. This cursor trace. So it was looking at the actors, right? Like it would register for the actors, but it wasn't doing it on like the world static meshes. So all I had to do was literally just enter in like this exact same thing, but set it for world static as well, and it started working. That was all I had to do. So it was just like this, like a little line of code right here. Um, made some notes there just so I can remember what I'm doing. But yeah, just I was like overhauling everything, just completely destroying the code. But we're past it. I'm so happy right now. I'm on top of the fucking world. But yeah. But any Hoosers, what I actually ended up doing, or what I've been spending my time doing, was just like creating a better test area because the little platform I had was just getting really annoying to look at for the past like 4 months. I also so this like these assets, I'm sure I will use them in the game at some point, but it's not representative of what the game is at all. But like this like void space, I was playing around with like post processing, lighting, fog, like all that stuff, just to kind of like figure out like because like the conceit of the game is like you're entering people's minds. Well, I mean, so you're in so the main like playable areas, the scene like this world in between worlds, and I don't know how that's gonna look visually yet, but when you like are entering people's minds to help them with their mental health issues, I want there to be like a have it be like a void esque area, and I really like this like purple void. So this is probably how the void's gonna look. Obviously, again, like the assets, static meshes, like the levels will be completely different than this, but like the general like color scheme and this sort of like dark atmosphere, like it's like just endless nothingness, like to represent like the mind, I guess. I'm probably gonna keep. I like how it looks. I was sitting there just playing around with different values for a while. Um, so yeah, just and like I said, just kind of made like a better testing area. It's just some platforms I put together quickly just to test things out and just working on like random things like this like torch flicker. So now I have a lighting source that like flickers dynamically. Not gonna go too in depth on these, but I just have it set up here as a little timeline like flame intensity. The event graph here, it just sets it. It picks a random one. Uh, so there's that. That's just dumb little like simple stuff that I will probably just flesh out further, and I can use this lighting system for like all sorts of torches or like lamps. I want to have a lamp that flickers, or just any sort of fire. I just have that set up now, just a little thing. But also I've just, as you've seen, been working on the UI a little bit. So now we have a full a kind of skill bar where you can select your spells. There's no spells, but and this attribute button that will move eventually. That's not going to be there forever. That's just kind of a placeholder. I'll integrate that into the HUD more seamlessly eventually, but still working on it. But you can see you still have the health mana bars, and then a slot for passive spells, your left mouse click, right mouse click, and then stuff on the hotkeys, just so you can see what you're selecting. And that kind of took some overhauling, just a new overlay. So we go here, my UI. Sub widget, create this new sub widget. It's a little complex, but just a lot of like boxes, images, followed a lot of the same methods that I did to create the spells, or not the spells, the mana globes initially. So like I can set my brushes and all that stuff's editable, as you see here, and or not here. Where are my functions? Or sorry, I need to spell globes. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. The spell globes here, because this is, you can't see it, but these are the spell globes. So like it'll show like fire spell, ice spell, all that stuff. I have icons and color schemes for all that. And you set it all here, the update box size, update ring brush, just like boring functions that do stuff. Sorry, I'm so panicked. I'm just really excited about me fixing the cursor trace issue. Um, but also I'm always panicked when I'm recording videos, so it's not really much different. But yes, you can see here. Let me show you what the globe looks like. So I'll just disconnect this clear globe because right now I want it to be a clear globe since I haven't sent any spells yet. But normally, like, this is how the fire spell globe will look. Here I go to the designer. So you see it as the fire and then the little fire icon. So like similar to the health and mana globes, just different colors and icons. So there's that. I'm still in the midst of working on the UI. I just wanted to get a video out there. Because this is probably going to be the last, or not probably, this is the last clip of this dev vlog. I'm going to start editing it because it's been about a month since I posted the last one. Yeah. Don't really know how to wrap things up from here. I guess I can just say, thank you for watching. And I feel like getting that cursor trace issue fixed, like, just was such a huge relief because I was worried about it the entire time. I was like, I'll fix it, I'll fix it. And I tried to fix it. I was like, oh, this isn't working. But now it feels like a proper, like, RPG game. Like, with the combat, like, this is how I want the combat to feel. I want you to be able to click anywhere as be firing spells or whatever. Spells go through the floor there just because I haven't generated overlap events. Just like for the system to work, I have to first make sure everything has generate overlap events on. So I'll put that there. And then collision presets, I have to have those all done a certain way. But that's just random stuff you don't need to worry about, just behind the scenes stuff. As you see here, like on here, I just have to make sure that it's blocking projectile, blocking visibility, and everything. Yes, okay. I'm going to stop rambling. Thank you for watching devlog number 4. As always, my name's Jonathan Haile. And, I don't know. See you in the next video.